So as a poultry farmer, one thing you do not need to joke with it at all. At all. It's your vaccination. Yes, it's your vaccination. Because these birds are very fragile, and then they are not able to withstand most of these serious viral diseases. Yes, especially the Newcastle disease, which has the potency to destroy your farm. As much as 100% morbidity, and the mortality rate is very, very, very high, especially when the temperatures or when the weather is very hot. Between November, December, January, February, March, thereabout, when temperatures are very high, usually there are severe outbreaks of Newcastle disease around, so you may have to immunize your birds against the Newcastle virus. So yesterday we were administering our inactivated Newcastle vaccine, what we usually call Newcavac. So it is very prudent for you to vaccinate all your birds. Well, so not everybody or not every farmer want to inject the birds. Most farmers prefer giving oral vaccine. That is also fine, which is usually given between the period of 6 weeks, 8 weeks, some 3 months. I know of I2 Newcastle vaccine, which the vets usually recommend to be given orally between an interval of 3 months. And then I also know some farmers who have been giving Lasota periodically every 6 months. That is also fine. Some people would also wish to vaccinate them by injection. That is also fine. And then this has nothing to do with your system, whether you are into battery cage or whether you are into the deep litter system. You still have to do your vaccination, because these viruses do not know whether you are operating with deep litter system or the cages. So once you have the birds after 16th week, you give them your inactivated Newcastle vaccine. That is a Newcavac, the one we are injecting. And then one school of thought has it that you can repeat this Newcastle vaccine after 1 year, but then in period of serious outbreaks, you may be forced to do it periodically at a regular interval, somewhere around 3 months. That is what some farmers have been doing. Some too prefer 5 months or 6 months. It depends on your location. If you have a lot of farms around you where there are massive outbreaks here and there, you may have to consider giving it periodically at regular intervals, not more than 5 months or 6 months. Some can do some farmers. I know a lot of farmers who have been doing 3 months. So you look out for what works for you. You understand? This poultry business or this poultry farming is not something that you do copy and paste. No, you adapt to what works for you, providing you are doing the right thing at the right time. You don't wait for the disease to strike you before you start to immunize them. And then one thing you don't have to forget is that you don't have to usually when you are doing vaccination, you don't have to vaccinate sick birds. You never make that mistake by vaccinating sick birds. And then with the dosage, you have to keep up with the recommended dosage by the manufacturer. With the Newcavac, I think it's 0.5 ml per bed. So that full bottle can, usually vaccinate 1,000 birds. Yes, I think it's 500 ml usually used to vaccinate 1,000 birds, because each bird is supposed to take 0.5 dose. So if you are looking at starting a poultry farm, make sure you get the right guidance. Make sure you are guided correctly. You get the right team for your business, because this business is very profiteering, but you need to make sure everything is on point. You don't just base or look at the monetary aspect and then just go into it, boom. No, you start small and then learn along the way. So in order to avoid massive outbreaks at your farm, just make sure that you follow the medication chart, you follow the national poultry vaccination chart, whereby for the first 4 weeks, you make sure that you are done with your Gumboro, and then your Newcastle vaccine, your Lasota. Then on your 8th week, you start with your what you call the fowl pox, and then you continue.